Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Bad Thought Studio. Today we are doing House of the Dragon Season 2, Episode 8, the finale. We're going to do a recap, breakdown of the episode. Also, before we start, make sure you guys are liking and subscribing to the channel with notifications on so you guys are notified once a video is uploaded. Comment what you guys thought about the episode. See, you can't be doing that, bro. No one knows what we mean, what that means but us.
They're gonna get it at some point.
Yeah. We'll let you guys know what that means later. But yeah, make sure you guys comment and let us know what you guys thought about episode 8, the finale. Were you guys happy, mad? A lot of people were pissed off, so I want to get your guys' opinions. Also, let us know in the comments what shows you guys want us to watch next or kind of break down something you might recommend to us to watch, stuff like that. So let us know. But yeah, so today we got Liz joining us again. Welcome back, Liz. I appreciate you.
Hi.
How are you? How's everything?
Good. How are you guys?
Doing amazing. Last time you were on here, the video went pretty crazy. Not crazy in like the sense of viral, but on my page, it went crazy, and I loved it. And you did a great. That was your first time on a podcast, right? Or like on a thing like that.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Did you like it though?
No, not at all.
No. Okay.
I had a great time.
But Liz, thank you so much for coming back on. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, X-Raw Television.
What's up, brother?
First off, thank you for joining me this season, bro. It's been a crazy season, dude. Like
Wild.
we went from, I think season 1 we did a full breakdown of the last episode, and I put it up, and it didn't do like any kind of numbers, but it was just fun.
Mm-hmm.
But since then, we've been doing breakdowns for every episode as far as House of the Dragon and amongst other shows. But like we did not expect any of this shit before we started, dude.
Yeah.
Like between TikTok and YouTube and other platforms, like it's been crazy. But I do want to thank you, bro, for joining me every week, except for 1 week. I think 1 week you weren't there, but there's an excuse why.
Yeah.
But thank you again, bro. I do appreciate you coming on, man, and we're gonna be doing a lot of shit. Also, you're gonna be doing your first TikTok video this week,
Nice.
which you better do.
I'll probably film it tomorrow and put it out on Friday.
Are YouTube or TikTok?
Probably both. I'm actually
Ooh.
Yeah, because I have an idea of where I'm gonna go with it. Maybe make the TikTok video and then make a YouTube video about it like right after. So
Beautiful. But yeah, guys, make sure you guys go show X and Liz some love on their social medias. I will have everything in the description down below. But yeah, let's start this off, guys. First, I want to ask you guys this question. I'll start with you, Liz. A lot of people hated this episode. You could tell after we went live on TikTok, just comments in general about the hate that this episode has. Before we deep dive into the episode, what do you think some of it was validated, why people hated it, and just season 2 in general?
I think what it is that the HBO has kind of set it up for where they're practically starving their viewers, because it's such long wait times, and then you don't get a whole lot of episodes. So it's kind of like, I understand where they're coming from. Like, we waited 2 years to get nothing in terms of what it was hyped up to be.
Gotcha.
Because, I mean, before the season started, it was hyped up to be a lot bigger than it was. Basically, the whole trailer for season 2 were the few really big scenes that they had. I think it was an important season, now knowing that they're most likely doing the full 4 seasons of the show, possibly 5. I don't think it needs 5, but I think they're validated, but I think people just like to whine.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, I get it, but nobody is forcing you to watch the show.
Yep.
Like,
and that's a huge point. It's like we see people complain about the show and don't even tell us what they dislike about it. They just say it's boring. But what's boring? Like, you want action? Okay, go watch an action movie. Like this
right?
this show is a political drama. and it always has been. And same thing with Game of Thrones. It was a political drama. It was a Game of Thrones. Like Thrones is a political drama, and the one thing people mistake is the action scenes. It's not an action show. It has just amazing action scenes within the show. There's a huge difference in what this show is compared to what you want as an action film, and that's not what this is. So I was expecting something like this. Of course, we all would have wanted, maybe one or two more fight scenes, like even if it was just two people fighting. Like we did get Eric and Ark, which was awesome.
Yeah.
But even if we got one or two more of those, would have been perfect. But we didn't. But if anything, that would have been fine. But
Yeah.
I just think in the whole season, within the season, I was expecting something like this. We got the dramatic death with Rhaenys. We got the almost the assassination of Rhaenyra. We got almost the killing of Aegon. It's like we got the action that we asked for, but in a political sense. So that's just my take. I loved season 2. Of course, it wasn't a perfect season. I did want a tad bit more, especially episode wise. And there's some things they could have done different with Damon, but ultimately it was a great sequence with Damon being there. And we'll go into him at Harrenhal. But in all, like this season was great. It wasn't perfect, but it was great. But what about you, X? What was your whole outtake on season 2 and just the stuff within it?
Honestly, I mean, I like the entire season. Yeah, the people that don't understand what the show is, you're really not paying attention, like in the slightest. You're wanting, action this, action that. You understand that how you get fights, there has to be a conflict first. How you get these action parts, there has to be a conflict first. So we've been getting set up since season 1, but it's all going to come around. Like you just need to let it happen, and the buildup is the best part about it. So for people saying that especially like episode 8 was a 70-minute trailer, you're tripping. If you thought all the filler episodes throughout the whole season were boring, you're not watching the show. You're on your phone on Twitch or
Twitter, TikTok.
Yeah.
And I think right there you hit the nail on the head. I think that's why how people watch TV nowadays is with their fucking phone in their hand, texting and watching fucking TikToks as the show's going. Yeah. If you notice, like most of the people that are creators, exception of some, but most of the creators, people who are actually interested in the show, loved it. It wasn't perfect, of course, but they loved it. The majority of people
show is really perfect. I mean, you're not going to get everything right. And yeah, like most fans, like for me personally, I didn't like Game of Thrones season 8, but some people did. It's just your perspective on the show. It's not always not going to be perfect. You can't get every single little person right. There's going to be differences, but it's the coming of the show is what you need to be paying attention to.
Yep. And were you going to say something, Liz?
Yeah, I was going to say it's kind of like a lot of the people who hated season 8. Like I didn't like it, but I didn't hate it. And they always say, "Oh, it doesn't make sense that Dany went mad." It does, though. If you watch the show, it does. They just executed it
poorly. Yeah.
Poorly. Yeah.
Yep.
Like it makes a whole lot of sense. You just didn't watch the show.
And one thing, and I would love to talk to you about season 8 because I don't think we've ever spoken about season 8 before. But one thing about season 8 is like you are correct about Dany becoming mad. And the way they executed it. If they would have done something maybe in like season 7 where we seen her just like have these moments where she's fucking what?
I saw a couple leading up to it.
It wasn't. I did see it, but it wasn't extremely obvious that was the direction she was going. Of course, everyone has like their bad moments, but for Dany, it was almost like she was just having a bad day and receiving bad news, so she was kind of pissed off, like every other ruler would do. But these little subtle things like she could have done, where she like told someone to kill someone, or she like burned someone on accident, but it looked like something like that, where it led up to her her madness in the last episode. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But we didn't get that. But yeah, like to your point, they didn't um foreshadow anything when it came to her. But yeah, so season 2 was, for me, it was great. It wasn't terrible. Like I said, change things, of course. You can always change things, but I think within season 3 and season 4 we're going to be getting the action that everyone wanted. But I more want to see how these characters develop. Like the character development in this show, I think, is going to be top notch. But yeah.
I don't want the next season to come out. Let's just leave it like this.
Yeah, leave it like this. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, the people will be even more
Oh my
pissed.
God, there will
Oh,
be a
man.
revolution.
But yeah, let's start it off, and I'll start with you, Liz. We start off with Tyland and trying to get the triarchy to march with them and get on their side. We see that whole thing unfold. A lot of people, like I said, didn't like it. A lot of people were okay with it. What was your take on that whole scene and him and getting trying to get the triarchy with him?
Well, a lot of people, they say, oh, it wasn't important, blah, blah, blah. But I mean, it kind of is important if they're going to have an alliance with the triarchy. They just finished demolishing them in the last season.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not them directly, but they aided the crab feeder. Um, it's important, and it provided some comedic relief because it was a very heavy emotional episode. Not like a lot of things going on, but it really tugged at you in almost every other scene. So I
Yeah.
think it was hilarious. And I think it really shows well, it kind of shows that Aemond is not, making smart decisions. Because why would, of all people, would you send Tyland Lannister to convince
Yeah.
the triarchy to join you? Like one of the most ill-suited people to that role. Like he can't speak. It's every word, you know. But
Yeah.
I mean, he proved himself, so I thought that was cool.
Yeah, and you are correct about the comedic factor. I will say this: the one thing I loved about Game of Thrones that we don't get in House of the Dragon is that like we used to get little subtle things. Uh, what's his what's his name?
Tyrion.
Yeah, Tyrion. But who's the redhead again? Always forget his name. He was a wildling. Jon
Oh,
Snow's.
Tormund.
Yeah,
Torment.
Tormund. He was funny as hell. Like he had his scenes with Brienne, and there was comedic,
Jamie was
relief.
hilarious too.
Yeah, Jamie
People
was.
sleeping on Jamie.
Yeah, Jamie was funny. You are correct. But yeah, we don't get that in House of the Dragon, and I'm really shocked that they didn't do that. Um, with and we'll get into Ulf later, but I think Ulf is the only comedic kind of factor, and Damon. But I think people see that as more charming than fucking funny, which is insane to me. But
I didn't find it either. I found it
no,
irritating.
yeah. But he has he had his funny moments in season 1. But in season 2 it was just like more of a serious kind of Damon. But we don't get that. We didn't get much of it until the triarchy scene with Tyland. So I agree with you on that one. But what do you think, X? What was your whole outtake on that?
For those scenes, for the Lannister scenes, I thought to myself, that was, if I'm gonna say anything was filler, was that we really didn't necessarily need. I mean, we did, but we didn't. I don't think we needed it for episode 8. I think we could have used it maybe in episode 7. A couple of scenes in episode 7 should have been an 8, in my opinion. But yeah, like Liz said, you kind of need it because we're going to see now the alliance build, and obviously the battles to come. We see that they're on boats, so we can already assume that they're going to go for the blockade. And yeah, that's fine. It's cool. Now we can assume what's coming up in the future. So it was needed. I didn't mind that they tried to make that scene comedic. It was just kind of weird the way they did it. Like, I actually forget the lady's name, the warrior lady.
Yeah, I forgot her name too.
She was trying to be funny, but it was like the way she was coming off. It was
It was
like,
more serious.
yeah, it was definitely serious. I'm like, oh shit. And
I
then like
need to
after
know how many wives.
she's probably, yeah, she said wives, like multiple. It sounded like more than 3, and I was like, "Yo, like you
Mhm.
pull that? I'm proud of you."
I know, right? What's the sauce?
But yeah, no, I mean, it was good enough to where I don't necessarily mind it in the episode. I just think maybe you could have flipped around a little bit, but it's all good.
Yeah, and it wasn't bad. It wasn't a bad scene. Of course, we are not Lannister fans, or at least I'm not. No one really likes Tyland. He's not really a important character. I mean, he might be an important character to the story, but as far as us, he's just not that important. At least he doesn't seem like he is at the
Yet.
moment.
Yeah.
And of course, his army is going to help, Aemon and all that stuff. So we'll see how that unfolds. But we'll see when it comes to Thailand. I know he's on his way back. Back to. Are they going to Harrenhal? Where are they going? Did they say?
I think everybody's trying to get to Harrenhal right
Thailand?
now.
Yeah.
They're not going to Harrenhal.
Are they going to King's Landing?
I think they're going for the blockade.
Oh, that's right. Yes, you are correct. That's exactly where they're going. So we'll see how that works in season 3.
I think the dopest thing that the Lannisters got going for them is when you pull up somebody's crib and you got a fucking lion in a cage. Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I haven't heard yet, which I'm very surprised, is Lannisters always pay their debts. I'm really surprised we haven't heard that saying yet.
I think because they're not as big of a house as they were in Game
I was
of
like,
Thrones.
I don't think they're there yet. I don't think they're because
Yeah.
in Game of Thrones we see them as a bigger house and they're kind of in control. They're obviously part of like the crown and shit. So I don't think they're there yet.
Yeah. Moving on, we get the scene with Laris, and we'll kind of like as we go on, I'll kind of combine like what happens in the beginning and then what eventually happens when towards the end. So we see Laris come into Aegon's room, and you can see Aegon has more of a clear head. He's not, in much pain anymore. Obviously, he's in pain, but he's not in, the agonizing pain that we once seen him in. He comes in and mentions that Aemon is just unhinged, or Aemon is unhinged. That he's gonna eventually kill you. Like, we need to go. We find out that he got his fucking dick blown off on I can't believe you just did that. We find out that he got his shit blown off, man, and this dude's depressed. He's ready to just fucking like kill everything. But then he finds out that Aemon is not on his side anymore. He wants to kill him. He wants to be the king, and he pretty much was like, okay, let me sit on the Iron Throne and arrest him. And then he was like, well, you can't do that because we need fucking Vhagar. So he's in a bad predicament right now. And then, obviously we see him and at the end leave with Laris. But I'll start with you, X, on this one. What is your overall thoughts on that whole situation that he was put in by Laris, or at least broken down to him, and then him leaving with Laris? Like, what would you have done? And like, what do you think about the scene?
First off, my boy's broken. So I think Laris is taking advantage of him being broken. For him to say my cock is destroyed, I was like, oh, I feel you,
By the
dog.
way, I don't know if we can say this on YouTube, but I'm assuming we can.
If we can say fuck, we can say cock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, you don't have to say the word again, but I'm just kidding. Nah, go ahead.
But yeah, I mean, he's not in a good spot from what we've seen after he got dropped out of the sky. So now he's really starting to come back into his like leadership or whatever he thought he had. Yeah, you cannot take out Aemon if you want Vhagar. Especially Vhagar needs a rider right now and is already out of control. And Aemon can only control a little bit of Vhagar as it is. So for Laris to really come in there and be like, we need to get you out of here, I really think Laris is just super loyal to Aegon. Like, I don't know.
Mhm.
I'm not really seeing any plot behind Laris anymore, other than he's just trying to help out his boy. Like he feels for him, being old clubfoot. He's like, I'm gonna get you out of here because I know how it is to be the secondary, the backup.
Yeah.
And for me, I don't know. Maybe if I was king, I think I would challenge him. Like, you know what? I know I'm broken, but I am the king. You need to stop this shit. You're the king regent. You ain't king. So, you know, I would now. I mean, I would say get the King's Guard, but they're not really much help. So it
Yeah.
just depends on how you want to see your own situation and where your
Yeah,
loyalty lie.
he is in a very difficult predicament right now. He either leaves King's Landing and lives, or stays in King's Landing and, as we know now, eventually die, because
Mhm.
not only was Alicent about to come there and pretty much backstab him, like Aemon was damn near holding the sword that is gonna eventually kill Aegon. So he's in a shitty predicament. But what was your outlook on that list? And kind of, do you think what he did was the right thing to do?
Leaving?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, there was no way for him to stay there. Like, he had no real support system or anything like that while he was there. And
besides
also,
Laris.
they're just so cute. Like,
Aegon
they're
plus
cute.
Laris. Oh hell no. What was your outlook on that whole scene though, with him and Laris?
Um, I like how even though Laris is trying to help Aegon and everything, he's still not being taken seriously. Like, he's, out here like, hey, like, we have to go to save your life. And he's like, yeah, like, my body parts are missing and this is wrong and everything. So, yeah, like, this is real fun. Like, you're talking about leaving, and all I can think about is the fact that, I can't do what I love to do most in this world.
Yeah, and I
I
love
can't
how
even take a piss.
I love how he was like, "We're going to Essos with goat fuckers." I was fucking
Oh
dying, dude.
yes, bro.
Uh,
What a line.
but yeah, he's in a very, very like big situation where he doesn't know what to do. And like I said, as we see him leaving, I wonder if, because we found out that Sunfire is dead, his dragon, we find out that he won't be able to ride. Um, he won't be able to ride again, from what we're anticipating to happen, because he is leaving to Essos. But something might happen within the road. We never know. But a lot of people were asking me in my comments, and you two can kind of vouch for this: is Sunfire really dead? And we're not going to sit here and spoil what happened or what the purpose of Sunfire is, but a lot of people were pissed off, and including Liz. But without going into spoilers of why Sunfire is such a big part, why do you think people are pissed off at because Sunfire's gone?
I feel like she already knows the
I,
answer. So
But
that's on there.
no, but like okay, it definitely would change the storyline. But I'm saying, like, in the from the books, why is it important that Sunfire is the dragon for it to happen, or for
because
let's just
Sunfire is Aegon's dragon.
yeah, okay, well, let's not go into this because I see where I'm kind of leading this
Yeah, like,
question. Okay,
I was like, how
never
do you
mind.
ask,
Oh my god.
how do you
But
answer
I
that
I
without
think
a
I think it was
spoiler?
more of like me asking about Aegon rather than Sunfire, because like we don't know what Aegon's eventually gonna do.
Yeah,
But
without Sunfire, Aegon has nothing going for him. He can't even walk, so.
another thing, why do you think people think the Sunfire is still alive, even though he clearly says my dragon is dead? Like, there's no like indication of people lying. Like, that's one thing about my theories that I've had within this show is like,
Yeah.
even though something happens, like something clear cut as like saying Sunfire's dead or this person's dead, like Lucerys, there's these freaking conspiracy theories of like, no, this person's
Well,
really alive, like Lanor as well. It's like there's different things that, like, oh no, he's dead, oh no, he's alive, even though it's clear cut in the show and there's nothing to like foreshadow something else happening. You know what I'm saying?
like, in the show, like, him saying it, like, yeah, you could take it, for what it is, but who is informing him of anything? Because Laris hasn't mentioned it, and Laris is the only one really talking to him. So, as far as we know, he just assumes that Sunfire is dead. And also, because even though, not everyone read the books, most people watch Game of Thrones.
Hmm.
So, you kind of, I'm not going to say it here, but It doesn't make sense for what he says to be true.
And that's I think that's what people are pissed off about then,
Yeah,
is
because
because
I
it
can understand changing book lore because they've done it several times, but I wouldn't understand changing from Game of Thrones.
gotcha.
Like
Well,
that's
Me
makes
is like
sense.
is we've been hearing certain things, right? And we're told certain things, and obviously this whole war is about to start literally just because of hearsay. You know, Allison heard one thing and thought, "Oh, sorry." Not that there's a whole another Aegon in the world, but she was just assuming it was hers. You know, okay, whatever. Um, we're not really getting like I don't think we're getting all the information, and some of us are thinking, you know, there are some theories out there that the Maesters are kind of one sided, so they're not really going to say the whole truth. And in Game of Thrones, they say, "Oh, there's certain histories, but now those histories are kind of being back told. So how do we really know what's true and what's being fed around, or is it just most of it just hearsay?"
Exactly. This is exactly the point. Like, Fire and Blood is a retelling of Maester's retellings. It's not even like a first-hand account. And like, I won't go into specifics, but there's one specific maester in the book, like whose story they continuously are like, but we don't really listen to him, you know, we can't really take anything he says into account. And then in Game of Thrones, like X said, you see the same thing. They're like, yeah, you know, the history said this, but you know, we don't believe that. Like,
yeah.
it's the maesters are the enemy.
You know what a scene that we should have seen already, but also we should see in the future is seeing these maesters write down what's going on,
I
like
think doesn't don't we see like Samwell? Well, this is Game of Thrones, but like we see him writing down a lot of stuff that's like going on.
yeah, during Game of Thrones
Like here.
they had their own like library, or the
Mm.
Citadel or whatever it was,
I think
right?
he's
Yeah.
actually the only one I've ever seen write down anything from a Maester.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Unless
but
what's his name in House of Dragon right now? I can't remember his damn name. He might be doing it
um
in his study.
Orwell.
But yeah,
yeah.
Orwell.
Orwell. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we should see a scene of him writing down, or like someone walking in, like Allison, like, "Oh, what are you doing?" And just, writing down these events of war, and so people understand what's going on, and vice versa for Team Black, because these are two different events from what you guys have told me, or people who've read the books, that we're getting different outlooks on how they saw it from multiple maesters. So,
Mm.
you know,
I
Oh,
I
think
I
they'll
was
would be,
trying
save
to,
that for the end.
yeah, could be.
Mm.
What are you
I
gonna
was trying
say?
to think who um, Rhaenyra's Maester is, but it's that little guy.
Yeah,
Mushroom.
you you
Yeah.
have a you have a letter from Harrenhal, Your Grace.
Yeah, that guy. He's
Um.
a weirdo too.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. But yeah, we'll see when it comes to Aegon and where his journey leads him now. Um. Aemon is a loose cannon, so I could see why he left. Moving on to, I kind of want to combine these scenes. The Ulf, us introduced to Ulf after he claimed Silverwing. We see how serious Adam and Hugh are. Also Jace, and how pissed off he is about what's going on. You see how mad that he's tries to get off to like apologize and tell him like, you need to fucking straighten the fuck up, because you're now a dragon rider. So he's pissed off the whole time. Off not taking anything seriously. Hugh is like, being serious, but trying to tell off to like, dude, like, you need to start doing shit. And Adam's just not giving a fuck about no one but Rhaenyra. So they all have these different parts within this little dragon or their dragon riders, and it's very different perspectives, or personalities. You know what I'm saying? So what's your take on this, X, and like that whole scene with Ulf and all the dragon riders, dragon seeds, all that stuff?
Honestly, bro, like I see that they want to make Ulf comedic. I get what they're trying to do. He is irritating. It's like you're Hugh says it that he's not. It's like also like table manners, but fuck, he said something along those lines, or court mannered.
Yeah.
And yeah, we can tell because you were talking all this shit. Oh, I'm a Targaryen. And then when you get the opportunity, you just sound like an ass.
Yeah.
Like, there's a point to make jokes. You can make jokes if that's like your personality. At the same time, read the room, bro, because everybody else is serious. Everybody else, obviously Jace isn't fucking with you, so stop trying to press him. When he
Yeah.
said, look at the hair, Jace already has a problem with it. He's already been talking about his mom. We see that he's already having issues with it, and now you want to bring it up? Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't sock him in the face right there.
Yeah.
And he's like, we're cut from the same cloth. Now Jace feels more threatened. It's like, dude, he will put you down instantly. You have no training. My boy Jace has been training his entire life. Just step back.
Yeah.
And when they're at the table and he's still just kind of running his mouth, even though Rhaenyra is like, hey, you should probably chill out and be like a knight that you're going to be, and he still just kind of pops off a little bit. Man, she has done so much worse to other people, and she should have slapped the shit out of him.
Yep.
And when they show her talking and the guard in the back grabs his sword, I was like, just please do it right now.
Yeah, please.
I'm already over it. He's only been like in altogether time like 30 minutes, and he's already irritating me.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, and Hugh's like my boy. I want to see him really take off and be a big part of Team Black. And I have high hopes for Adam. I just hope him and Corlys get together and do better. But I know he's going to be. He's already kind of proven it. He's already had to go to Harrenhal with Rhaenyra, so he's already like in her good graces in a way.
That's like her right hand man, dude. Like
Yeah.
And see, I don't want to say Ulf. Like, your brother had a good point though. It will be a good character arc for Ulf if we see him this kind of delusional and cocky and everything, and then all of a sudden he plays like this huge part of being on Team Black and showing his true colors of being a dragon rider and a Targaryen. Like, that would be a great character arc for him. So shout out to the Cannon Camper. He kind of sees that going in that kind of direction, which I would love, because that's like I said, that development of him being this cocky, arrogant dude to buckling down and actually being a huge part of this war would be phenomenal to watch, especially for someone that is the brother of Damon and Viserys, which is very important to why he is writing Silverwing in the first place. Yeah. So I would love to see that with Ulf. Jacaerys is pissed off, dude, at just everything in general. Rhaenyra doesn't let him do fucking anything, and I'd be mad too, bro. And everything he's feeling is completely 100% justified.
Is it though? Is it?
Yes.
I agree with Liz. I'm not sure everything is, but there's some things he's kind of nitpicking to me.
I understand, the thing about being a bastard and all that, but you're the heir to the throne. Like, if you 100% believe that your mother is the rightful ruler of Westeros, and you yourself scold her when she tries to do anything, you are the heir.
Mm-hmm.
You have the same rules. It's like Prince William and Prince George don't fly in the same plane.
Yeah.
Like,
that's actually pretty true. But so the reason why I say it's justified is because he feels like he should be the one doing something. And the whole reason why this war started in the first place is because Rhaenyra is the rightful heir to the throne. He was chosen by Viserys for her to be queen. And I think to Jacaerys, having her sit on the Iron Throne is more important than what comes next. And I think that's why he's pissed off that he's not allowed to do anything, which I guess, yeah, it's justifiable. But at the same time, he does have to realize, you're right, that he is the heir to, if they win this war, he's next in line. And if something happens to Rhaenyra. So you are correct on that. But in my opinion, like, being the bastard that he is and having those insecurities growing up throughout his whole life. Like you kind of have to have that feeling in your head, like anyone can challenge you. And we brought this up in last episode that um, Aegon and Viserys, they are true Targaryens with full blooded they are full blooded Targaryens. They could have more claim because they have white hair, like in the future. I'm not saying that they're going to take over his, the Jacaerys or anything, but it could potentially happen if they have that kind of mindset.
Did you say Aegon and Viserys?
Yeah, that's their names, his brothers.
The youngest.
Oh, the
The
young. I was like,
Yeah.
what?
yeah, his younger brother. I thought I said
I was like, what are you talking? I was like,
They're Targaryen with a hint of Aaron in them.
Yeah, exactly. So like I said, we could potentially get that in the future. So he feels that type of way of like, because I have brown hair, I'm not a full-blooded Targaryen. This is what could possibly happen to me, and it would just be a cycle all over again. So to me, he's justifiable in certain things, not all, but he's pissed, and I could see why. But what's your take on that list and that whole scene of him being just upset? Did I ask you this already?
I don't think so.
No? Okay, yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry. I
Um,
thought I did.
You're talking about Jason Ulf, right?
Yeah, just Jace
Yeah.
off and just that whole like the dragon seeds and stuff
Yeah.
at the table.
Ulf was pissing me off. I don't know if you guys could see in the reaction video, but I
Oh
was
yeah.
very irritated. Jace, honestly, he did good. He should have done more. I wanted to actually. I was more annoyed with Rhaenyra than I was with Ulf at that dinner scene because I was like, there ain't no way that you just bitch slapped old man over there a couple
Yeah.
episodes ago for simply suggesting something that was fairly reasonable.
Yeah.
Just disagreeing with you.
and the
And
line
you're
she
letting
says
this
after it is
man
even
talk
cold.
his shit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you're scared of him because he has a dragon? Do you not have a dragon? Like, oh, I don't want to offend him. What's he gonna do? Go to Team Green? Oh well. Oh
Yeah.
well.
Cook his ass on the way out the door.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Like, you really think any of those dragons are gonna let him leave?
Yep.
No, she was. I was like, what happened to Rhaenyra the Cruel? Where the hell she went?
Where'd she go?
Let's run it back.
Yep.
Yeah,
But
it was a lot.
yeah, that in that scene in general, you are correct though. Like she should have done more. All shouldn't be able to talk like that, and Jacaerys as Prince should have done something as well. Like even if you're mad at Rhaenyra, like, or instead of being mad at Rhaenyra, you could just go to Jacaerys and be like, "Yo, talk your shit, bro.
Exactly.
Fucking lock him up. Make sure he's not fucking
And
leaving."
the old dude got slapped, and then she says, "I forgot to make you fear me."
Yeah,
Say that to him.
yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah, I'm queen. You should probably fear me.
That's the one person
I
that should.
think if that scene had happened after she went to Harrenhal, it would have been way different, though.
Oh yeah, it would have been a different vibe for sure.
So let's move on to the scene where we get Corlys and Rhaenyra. This doesn't have to be like a huge conversation, but I just want to touch on the fact that we get Corlys, strategizing with Rhaenyra, and to top it off, we get a name switch for Corlys's boat. It was once previously the Sea Snake, now is the Queen that never was. Shout out to a Game of Thrones historian. She did a video on this. She said that people who or Corlys could have a bad omen now because he changed the name of his boat. So keep that in mind too as this show continues, because I think that was a very interesting take. Like I've heard on different shows and different movies that, and even just like in movies today, like nowadays, it is a bad omen to change the name of your ship. So it was a pretty cool video that she did. But what's your guys' take? I'll start with you, Liz. What was your take on the name switch? Do you think it was cool? Do you think the strategy they're having a strategy talk, which is amazing to me. I wanted to see something like that in this episode, and we got it. So I was really happy with it.
I mean, I liked it. I didn't even think about the bad omen thing until I saw her video. But I liked it. I thought it was cute, but Corlys is just he's giving
Well,
ill.
we'll get into that part because I want to talk
Yeah,
about
like
that too.
I liked the scene, but I feel like he's just been doing things so wrong lately that it didn't really redeem him for me.
Yeah.
Like it was cute, it made me sad, but I was like, all right, well, then you just go back to being the same idiot that you are, so never mind.
Yep. And I will don't worry, we'll get into that scene because I really want to talk about that. But what was your take on that scene, X?
Yeah, I mean that totally makes sense. I actually didn't think about that until you guys said it. Yeah, it's a bad omen. It's all like for us, they say, oh, always name a boat. Period. A boat with no name is bad luck. And then to change it, I've always heard is just bad. Period. You can't change your boat's name once you are given a name. But like my cars have names, so because that's how guilty I feel about it. Like
Yeah.
both my cars are named because of that shit. But yeah, no, I mean I get it, and I get why he did it. It's for his wife, but next time just make a whole nother boat, make it bigger, make it
Yeah,
better.
exactly. To top off this conversation or this scene was we see pictures come out because we didn't really see it in the scene, but pictures came out of the actual, the head of the front of the boat. They have the thing in the front, like on the outside. It's like a wooden mural of Rhaenys. So it was pretty fucking sick too. It
Oh,
was
it's not a
pretty
brand
dope.
picture like you said it was.
Shut. Anyway, next scene. This was so fucking fun to watch this scene because and shout out to Brianna. She did the a reaction video with us. The scene with Sir Arthur, is that his name? And Damon?
Alfred.
Alfred, okay, Sir Alfred, and Damon when he says, we need to speak alone, and then you hear the word traitor, and I didn't hear it at first. It was real subtle, dude. It,
So subtle and such a
yeah,
great detail.
yep. And then Brianna was like, I think you might have said something too, Liz. She was like, go back, and I was like, okay. So I go back, and you see in the subtitles, you see traitor, and you can hear it too. So I thought this was fucking so dope to see too, because we see what happens, furthering along that conversation, because he says we need a king right now. Rhaenyra has good intentions, but we need a king. And then Damon fucking was like, he was like, "Real, what'd you say?" You know what I'm saying? But Sarchulis, what'd you think about that scene and him being a traitor?
I mean, I think we all kind of guessed that from the first council meeting, so I wasn't really shocked about it. I was more shocked that Damon didn't hear it, but Alfred did. Like that kind of shocked me. Because I'm like, oh, is he Harrenhal's new victim? Like, because there's so many people there that, and they all seem to be doing fine. So I feel like, why would Harrenhal choose now to speak up? I think it was more for our benefit than anything else. But
Mm-hmm.
this way, there was no doubt.
Yep.
Like, the wind has spoken. This man is a traitor. Get him out of here.
Mm.
I am curious to see like what, because he specified like I will never turn on you guys, and I will never go to the usurper high towers and this and that, and it's obvious, of course, that he is, but um, he kept specifying so many times that I will never turn to Team Hightower, like never. I'm the one thing I'm curious to hear and see is if Massaria had um any kind of information about this, because that's something she would definitely hear or definitely like um get the news
Well,
for. No,
I mean, it depends though. How many people does she really have from the Riverlands who would be connecting with her?
what do you mean? Oh, because okay, true. I never thought of it like that.
No.
You don't think there would whispers would happen around the King's Landing about it, him being
How would they
a
know?
traitor? I had never
Because
thought of that
technically
like
he's
that.
a traitor, but he didn't go to the High Towers. He went to Damon.
Yeah,
And I highly doubt he's gonna be like, oh yeah, let me, nobody's gonna notice if I leave.
Yeah.
Like at
Ah,
this
wow. I
point.
never thought of it like that. Yeah, you're right.
I mean, he
Um,
could, but as of right now, I don't think so.
I think at this point he's kind of in a no man's land because he fucked up by telling Damon that, and then Damon bent the knee, so now he's screwed. So I believe his only option now is to go to Team Green. But what's your take on this, X?
What have I been telling you all season?
That he's a traitor.
The entire time. Like
Yeah.
episode 1, I was like, hell no. This boy needs to just shut up. Every time he's at the council meeting, he's always chirping something. He's always trying to control something and always saying, Rhaenyra, you need to don't do this, don't do that. And he was like, I think he was like one of the first to speak up about her taking a step back and then like taking over the war because she was a woman or whatever the hell. I'm like, this is literally the whole reason why. And then you just the wind. I believe in nature, bro. The wind just proved it. Especially all the crazy shit we've been seeing with Damon. Once the wind was like, traitor. All right, get him out. He
Yeah.
can keep his tongue. Take it now.
Taking that. Yeah, it was pretty cool to see that I was right because I was speculating. I believe I made a video on this as well of who will be the first trader on Team Black or Team Green. And I'm glad I mean, I'm not glad we got it, but I knew something eventually was going to happen. And unfortunately, it was him for Team Black, and we'll get into Team Green later. But I wanted to move on to Aemon real quick, and we don't have to talk about this scene like a whole bunch, but we finally see Aemon become lashing out. We see him talk to Helena, asking to fly to Harrenhal with him when he starts grabbing her arm, which was very, very like unusual for an Aemon character. Like he would never get physical, especially with his sister, and that's why Alicent stepped in. And was like, "The fuck you doing, bro? Like you don't touch your sister. You don't talk to your sister like that." And that was very kind of eye opening for Alicent actually talking to Aemon like that because she was scared of him in the first couple the first 6 episodes, first 7 episodes. She was scared of him. She wouldn't even look at she had a side eye him. So it was very cool to see that scene. But I'll start with you, Liz. What would you think about him grabbing her and the whole world wanted a freaking um, whole world was pissed off at Aemon for that, by the way, because
Yeah.
Helena is a sweetheart.
Well, one, I think he's spiraling.
Mm-hmm.
He's not like thinking clearly and everything. But two, I think that if Aemond hadn't done that, Alicent would have never went to Rhaenyra.
Mm.
Like, I don't think him burning Sharp's Point is what sent her over the edge. I think it was him coming for Helena that kind of set her over the edge because now it's like she said like, oh, let's go somewhere kind of. I think her main goal now is to not protect all of her kids but to protect Helena
Helena.
and her Helena's daughter
Yep.
Jahira. Yeah.
What about you, X? What was your take on that unusual scene of Aemon grabbing Helena and
Yeah.
Allison actually stepping up?
He ever touches her again, I'll take his other eye.
Yeah.
Period. No,
Fact.
I was happy to see Allison. I mean, that moment, I was on Allison's side. I haven't been at all ever. That at that moment, I was like, bro, back up. You know she's not going to war for you because she don't want to. She's never been about that life. So just leave her out of it. And now you're trying to force the one person probably who doesn't really have a stake in either side, the one person who needs to be left out of it. You're now tripping. And I honestly don't know why even he burned down Sharp's Point. I didn't.
Because they're Rhaenyra's bannermen.
Oh, okay. So now that makes sense. But it was just like so sudden and off the hinges, bro. Like now they're gonna be coming for you. Like
Yeah.
now there needs to be an avenging point, and no one's going after Helena because she's not a part of this. Alicent, thank you for having a backbone and finally stepping up to your son because we needed it. But like Liz said, if he never did that, Alicent would have never went. and I probably would still be in the same I'm off in La La Land shit that she's been doing. So
Yep. Um, moving on. This scene was most likely my favorite scene of the show of season 2. But of course, in episode 8, um, we see Damon and Alice comes back from the Riverlands. And where was she again? I forgot. She went
The
to
Tullys
she went to the Tullys. So she's back,
went to go
and
commit war crimes.
yeah, and she's crying. Like she was crying. She wakes Damon up. He walks her out, and as they're walking out, she says, "When you first got here, you were a closed fist. You wanted people to peril to their needs or something like that." I'm paraphrasing here, but now, like, pretty much you've changed. Like you are a different person now. And she asks, like, do you want to see like what happens to you or what's given to you? And then she brings him to the werewood tree. Blood starts to fall on his hand, and then you get the vision that we see. First we see the three-eyed raven, blood raven. Next we get a wolf running to the White Walkers. Then we see Damon walking past a dead dragon on the floor. Don't know what dragon that was, by the way. I'm not sure if there was like a specific.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I didn't really get a close up look of it.
Yeah, me neither. And then we see him fall in the water, which is a foreshadow from. And then we see Daenerys sitting down on the floor, birthing her 3 dragons. Exactly, and that was such an amazing scene, bro. Um, Unfortunately, it was kind of diminished for me. It was afterwards because I thought it was the best scene, but afterwards we get confirmation that that wasn't them telling us that Danny was the prince that was promised. Um, Ryan Kondo came out and said that George R. R. Martin should be the one to tell that story of who the prince who was promised is. There's only been speculation because nothing in the books have been written down as far as who that prophecy is. He pretty much told us that because Danny was there because she is a descendant of his family. She is connected to Damon and Rhaenyra's bloodline. So unfortunately, it wasn't a confirmation that she's the prince that was promised, but nonetheless, the scene was fucking absolutely amazing. I loved it. It was something none of us were expecting. But I'll start with you, X. The whole scene, like that was something that kind of just wrapped up this season for me in my eyes. But what'd you think of it?
what a scene! I mean, and especially to recapture, and that's I think this is the part that really kind of a lot of people loved, a lot of people hated because like, oh, you're just rehashing Game of Thrones. Not really. No, I mean, yeah, we see Danny, but that's we brought it down to the bloodline. Yeah, maybe it was diminished after
Can
being the princess as promised. Go
Can
ahead.
I cut you off for 1 second before I forget this? For people asking why this is important for us to see and who the prince that was promised is because we have, even though Game of Thrones showed us like what the outcome was of the White Walkers, how they got to that point in Game of Thrones is very freaking important, guys. It's a very important scene that we get of how we got to the point of Game of Thrones and why the prince that was promised, the prophecy in A Song of Ice and Fire prophecy is important. Like that was one thing that you guys can vouch for is
Took
was in
seven
the
and a half seasons.
yeah, like, and we finally get it at the end, and people were pissed off. But another thing, people need to realize that Arya killing the Night King has nothing to do with the prophecy of A Song of Ice and Fire. Like, if you guys see what Viserys says in season 1, he reads off what's on the knife and what the actual prophecy is. And in season 2, we get the same thing with Rhaenyra and Jacaerys. Like them saying the person who kills the Night King is not in the actual prophecy. It's just the person who unites the realm to defeat the Night King is the prophecy. Am I wrong by saying that, Liz, by the way? Like that's how the prophecy goes?
You're not wrong, but it's just like there's so much more to the
Yeah.
prophecy that I can understand why people are upset that she was the one to do it. Um, I was just upset because battle wise, it didn't make any sense for her to be where she was at that perfect
Yeah,
time to do
that's
it.
true.
But like that didn't
Um,
make any sense. But yeah, I get what you're saying.
but yeah, if people, I think to wrap this all up. Sorry to cut you off though, X. But
You good?
to wrap that part up, what I was saying, to get to that point, we're seeing what it takes for that prophecy to be even be relevant to almost 200 years later. Like it could have died right there and then, but it is very important that people know about this prophecy, and that's what we got. So my bad, X. You can continue, brother.
No, no, you're good. Yeah, I mean, that whole back to that scene. It's for me, it was great. I mean, it gets us excited because we have that nostalgia, and seeing the Blood Raven for the first time for me, I was like, oh shit! And I thought it was Targaryen at first, but from what you've told me, is that it's a Riverlands bastard. Is that
Yeah,
correct?
he's no, he's yeah, Rivers. Is that Brandon Rivers or something like that?
Yeah. Which I
Well,
thought was awesome.
technically he is a bastard of a Targaryen, right?
If his last name is Rivers.
Well, I know, but he's
Oh
technically a
yes, I actually see a video of it today that he is a Targaryen bastard. Yes, and
yeah.
actually his story is great, but we can go into that later. Um,
What were we gonna say, Liz?
No, I was just saying the Targaryen bastard's name, Blackfire, like that
Yeah, Blackfire. Yeah.
ends up being
okay. Um, but yeah, and then we see Damon as a White Walker.
Why? Don't put that in people's heads, bro. Don't put that in people's heads. He's joking. He's joking. Fucking a.
But
No,
no,
I had to say though, they really ran out of budget for that one clip.
oh my god,
Yeah.
it was
That
bad.
one
I
clip.
noticed that after I watched it over again on Twitter, it was horrible. I
He
was like,
doesn't.
damn.
Yeah, he
It
doesn't
was
look
like they
threatening at all.
CGI'd the shit out of that whole scene. It was like I know it was 2 seconds, but it was so bad CGI.
Yeah.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, I mean, I like I said, I love that entire scene. Alice coming back and really shows Damon knowing what now needs to be done. And like you said, I thought that was a great analogy, the closed fist,
Mm-hmm.
because now, and it kind of worked out because she says closed fist, and then he opens his hand to the tree, and then the blood starts to come out. And I thought that whole scene was really just kind of great and a little bit more character arc to Damon, or at least closing off. Hopefully it doesn't kind of revert back in season 3, but we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, 100% agree with you. And Alice Rivers, I think, is a very underrated character this season as well, because she was the one to help everything move along when it came to Damon. So I'm very happy with her character. But what about you, Liz? Would you think about the vision he had? Alice in general. What was your opinion on that?
I'm not gonna talk about Alice. I don't think I should. Um, but
She's
for
read the books, chat. That's why.
yeah, sorry. But for Damon, I mean, I liked it. I didn't necessarily care for Matt Smith's acting in that scene, which
Hmm.
is unusual for me because I think he kills it almost all of the time. But it kind of seemed, it didn't seem as big as it should have been for a character like Damon. Like it seemed almost too sad.
Mm.
Um,
Okay.
yeah, because it's like he's not a character that we see get sad. Like he looked horrified, which, makes sense. But the Damon we're used to, once he realized what was going on, he would have also been like so prideful. Like, because Ryan Condal said it after, but when you go back, it makes a lot of sense. He doesn't know who Daenerys is.
Yeah.
Like
Mm.
in his mind, that could be his daughter with Rhaenyra or his granddaughter. It's not so far out in the future. So I feel like somebody like Damon, like he would be very proud that, even if it wasn't him, it was his blood that was
Hmm.
doing things like this. So I don't know, it felt underwhelming his reaction.
Makes sense. Makes sense. And kind of to elaborate on the next scene we're jumping to, we see Rhaenyra on the Iron Throne, and he sees her, so he knows where she needs to be for the prophecy to be fulfilled. And next, out of everyone in this fucking show to see in that vision, did no one expect to see Helena chilling there, be like, "Hey, buddy, what's up, man? I'm behind you, but you see what needs to fucking happen, bro." Like,
I
like
actually
I
have a
thought,
question.
what's up?
I can't remember, but they don't actually mention the prophecy during the vision, do they?
Like, as far as like wording,
They
Like
don't
at
show it at
all?
all.
Like it's just scenes, right?
It's
Of
yeah,
like,
just
just
scenes.
scenes. Yes, no,
oh,
no,
okay.
no
No,
words.
because I was just confused because you said like Damon with the prophecy, but I don't think he knows about it. He just thinks this is that Rhaenyra has to be on the throne for like
Well,
survival,
he
but
knows
not in terms of the prophecy.
he knows it's the prophecy because he mentioned. I mean, I think it was more of like he saw it and understood what he was seeing,
Mm,
because he mentions to Rhaenyra the winter is coming, so he
yeah.
knows what it means. He knows what needs to happen. I'm assuming. I mean, I don't know for sure, but I'm assuming he knows what the prophecy is now and what the dream that Aegon had when he came to Westeros. And I don't know if Rhaenyra and him like talk about it in episode or season 3 or whatever. But my indication is that because he said the winter is coming, I think it's
Mm,
a a um I guess a way of telling us that he does know about the prophecy.
yeah. See,
So
Ryan Kondo got me all confused because it's like now I have to relook at that entire scene.
yeah, yeah, it was a great scene. But yeah, to touch back on Helena, she's there. Like she's tells him, you know what you need to do now. And my question with Helena was that the first time of her seeing it? Of course we're never gonna know, but her visions are getting stronger. She's getting powerful enough to where she can fucking see Damon in Harrenhal and talk to him. And she's becoming one of the I don't know as far as the books, but the strongest dreamer we've ever seen, dragon dreamer that we've ever seen, especially in the shows. So I'll go with this. I'll start with you. Start with you, Liz. Let's talk about her being able to see Damon in the vision, and then afterwards, where she tells Aemon that um, either way you're gonna die in the God's eye. Like telling him, do you think that was too much? Do you think as a viewer us hearing about that was too much? Do you think her changing into someone that confident other than telling us things in riddles, like that changing her is a good thing? What's your whole thought about that whole scene?
So I think with Helena, the change has probably come from her finally seeing or dreaming about the prophecy. Because I feel like it's something she would have whispered about if she had known previously.
Hmm.
Because even though she speaks in riddles, she still whispers about the things that she sees in her dreams. Her speaking to Damon was wild, but it makes me wonder how much time she spent because I think they have a weirwood tree in King's Landing. Like if I remember from season one, like I think Alicent or
Yeah,
Kristen is
yeah. She
standing
was
by the
laying. She was remember her and Alicent, Rhaenyra and Alicent were laying on there
yeah,
while she
like
was
it
like
looks
reading
the
the.
same.
Yeah.
And I think even Larison like comes up to her and is telling her about like the tree and stuff from because he's from Harrenhal and everything. Like, so I wonder how much of, Alice's magic and Harrenhal's magic is spread throughout King's Landing. And, if there are other people who it affects besides Damon, who's at Harrenhal, obviously. But I think her speaking to him, I didn't hate it. I didn't love it.
Mm.
Her telling Aemond what was going to happen and everything. Because the
Oh,
problem
you're
with
talking
that,
about that specific wording is with telling
yeah.
him what. Okay, I agree with that.
Because she tells Damon, like, you know what you need to do, like, which is basically, it's not a riddle, but it's not really being direct because,
Yeah.
I mean, how do you know if he really knows what to do? But then she like turns around and tells Aemond exactly what's going to happen to him. And I'm just like, okay.
Like as a
It's,
viewer, it's like, why are you telling
yeah.
us this?
Like, as a book reader, I was like, no way, they really just said this?
Yeah.
I was like, they're really like just warning everybody now, like, hey, he's gonna die. Like, I mean, we know eventually all of them are gonna die because we get Game of Thrones, but
Yeah.
now we know how it's gonna happen, kind of like, or maybe not so how, but when.
For at least two of them.
Yeah, and we kind of know that as far as Helena has said that Aegon is gonna outlive him, um, and you never know who else, but to hear her, I'm still not over it. Like, I'm in shock that they actually said it.
And it is very weird how they said it, because now we're speculating: is it really going to happen? Is Aemon actually going to never go to God's Eye now? What are
See,
they
I
getting
think
from it?
he'll go. I
You
think
think
it was
so?
setting us up to really show how self-destructive he is, because
Mm,
I feel like he's gonna be like, ugh, like, what are you talking about? You don't know what you're talking about. You're wrong. Like, your little dreams are wrong. Because nobody's ever really listened to when she spoke before.
yeah,
Like, it's the same when, he comes to running to Allison after the pig thing. He's like, she's like, you will claim a dragon. And Helena goes, he'll have to close an eye. It's like she's always saying something, which when you look back, you realize it. Maybe not in the moment, but they never listen enough to look back and realize, oh shit, she's been dropping truth bombs this whole time. Like,
yeah.
he's just that overly self-confident that he'll still go. He'll still
Gotcha.
go. He'll still do
Ma-
it.
Makes sense. I agree. I do think he's going to self destruct himself, and he kind of has that Damon arc, but now that Damon's a different changed person, we'll see what happens though. But X, real quick, go ahead and did you talk about the Helena? No, you didn't. Tell me about the Helena scene. What you did you enjoy it? Do you think it was too much for information for us?
I think her telling the deaths maybe a little bit too much. I'm glad she has that confidence now, but at the same time, she should have been like, oh, like at least for Damon, she says, what's going to happen. We see it, what's going to happen, and which was cool. And he turned around and saw her and was like, do what you got to do. You know what you got to do now. Do it. Then she turns to Aemon and is like, God's eye, you're offed. Bye. You know, and I wish they did give us like that riddle of it still, like because I didn't know, but now I know, and we know that there's a battle coming to Harrenhal, and God's eye is not that far away from Harrenhal.
Yeah.
So is it going to happen sooner? Or are we going to have like a battle at Harrenhal, then it kind of backs away? How are we going to look at it? But we know now it's coming. Where exactly it's at? How just are they preparing us for tears? Are they preparing us just to be like, oh, it is what it is now? But all in all, I did enjoy the scene. I did enjoy her whole part. It's just I wish we got a little bit differently.
And there two questions lie at that scene for me. Was that said because they want to show us how powerful Helena rather is now? Like, is that them telling us how powerful she is? Is that telling us that Aemon now knows that Helena does have these dragon dreams and who she truly is and how she could be used in the future? Like, why was this important, and what are you telling the audience right now? Because it is very confusing on what the purpose of it was. Like, what is going to happen. So we'll eventually see, of course, in season 3 or 4, but it's going to be fun to see Helena develop even more than she has already, because she stood on fucking 10 toes down, bro, and talked her shit, and I loved every second of it. um I do want to. We are short on time, guys, so I want to skip forward to Alicent and Helena, Rhaenyra rather. Um, this scene was hated by a lot of people. What was the purpose of it? And to me, I'll say this. So for those who don't, or for those who don't remember the scene, it's when Alicent and Rhaenyra, Alicent comes to Dragonstone. They talk about how wrong Alicent was, and she's sorry about everything that's happened. She tells her that you're eventually going to march to King's Landing, and I'm going to have everyone drop their swords for you. And Rhaenyra pretty much was like, if this happens, I need to take your son's head. Like, there's no ands, if, or buts about it. I am taking Aegon's head. And then we see Aegon eventually leave. But it's kind of to wrap this up, X, what's your opinion on that scene, them speaking to each other? And not only that, you see the love they still have for each other in a weird fucking way, but it's there. Like, if you notice, it was there because she was able to Alicent told Rhaenyra she's able to leave, and now Rhaenyra is returning that favor. So what's your opinion on that scene, and what's gonna happen, or what
I
they
think
said is gonna happen?
I think Alicent knew Alicent realized she fucked up, and now, like she now is really saying, "Oh, it's my fault, or everything is my fault, my bad, whatever." Uh, she now is trying to more or less take up Rhaenyra on the offer of peace that she did when she went to King's Landing. But now it's too late. You denied her the first time. There's nothing else she can do at this point. There's already been too much done to really call out for that peace. And when Rhaenyra says, "I need to take your son's head," yeah, we know, and not just one. You have to take two, because there's no way you take Aegon without possible. I don't know about three necessarily, but
You
I
have
know for sure
to.
two.
Helena too? I don't think Rhaenyra would take Helena.
No,
Oh,
No,
Darren.
Darren.
Excuse me.
you
Yes,
have
Yeah,
you are
to.
correct.
but yeah, Aegon for
Oh.
sure. Aemon 1,000% right. The way he is right now, yeah, he's got to go. He's not reverting back and be like, "Oh, I'm sorry. You know
She
what? You're
was
right.
trying to
My bad."
offer him first. She was like,
Yeah,
yeah, take him. That's
take him.
fine.
Yeah, take the King Regent. No, King. Period. But yeah, we see the love that they still have for each other, and in a small sense of respect to let them see each other and leave, because they gave that respect already once. So now they're gonna keep it rolling. But this is it. If this happens again, there is going to be bodies on the floor, because you cannot do this any longer. Which I don't think, from Allison's standpoint, this is going to happen anymore, because Aegon's now gone. If Rhaenyra, it's almost like a trap. If Rhaenyra goes,
Mhm.
if Rhaenyra goes, everyone's going to be prepared, because now the king is gone,
Yep.
and now everybody's going to be 100% watching everywhere, trying to get him back. And if she shows up, all out war, King's Landing.
But the question is, will Damon let Rhaenyra go? And to me, I don't think he will. But
Let
let's
her. She the queen. He'll needs
no.
to let
But
her do
I think
anything.
Damon will. What I meant by that is, I think Damon would go in her stead rather than have Rhaenyra go.
I think they'll go together.
Oh well, that's possible too. But what's your take on the last scene of season 2? Liz?
Um, I liked the little montage at the end. I thought
Yeah,
those were really cool. Like stills. Because they're kind of basically what they were. They were meant where you could just look at them.
yeah.
But
Mhm.
I don't like the whole dynamic between them. I think it's tiring. I think they've been doing it since the very beginning, and I'm over it. They're
I
not
agree.
friends. They can never be friends. And I think Rhaenyra is stupid for negotiating with somebody who has zero power right now.
I agree with that. I like that take because
That lady was allowed to go to Dragonstone and nobody noticed.
yeah,
They don't care about her.
yeah. I agree with you. I think this love between them. I think it's almost, I don't want to say they're forcing it, but I think they're trying to push something that shouldn't be there anymore. They haven't been friends for since they were children, like, and they one stabbed the other, and um, the other one like usurped her throne. Like there should be no love between any of them still, but you kind of see it. Like I'm not gonna lie, you kind of see the at least the potential that might be there still, and I'm not agreeing with that. Why are you laughing?
Because you made me laugh. Oh, one stabbed the other. One took the other one's son.
Yeah, it's
Like
the
you know,
same person who did it.
What do you mean?
like like you said, one stabbed the other. Like that's like, oh, that's the biggest thing that happened. I'm sorry. Rhaenyra's son is literally gone because of
Yeah, but that's not her fault. That's Aemon's fault.
true, but she more or less, put that shit into motion, and like
Yeah,
all
I
of it's
just
really
thought it was funny that you said one of them did that, one of them did the other. Both of those things were done by Alice.
both of them were done by
no,
Allison.
true.
Most of it is done by Allison.
But I just feel like their friendship that was when they were children. There should be no kind of love there between them whatsoever. Like they might have had a strong friendship growing up, but all the shit that's happened in between, you should have had Allison's head right there and then, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But um, I like what you said though. The montage that we got at the end list was cool. It was a cool way to set up what we will see in episode one. And I
Mhm.
don't want it, we will get something in episode one, guys, because like he's ready. Aemon's ready to fly to Harrenhal. You see the boats from the Triarchy and the Valarians. You see, then you see the Valarians and the Triarchy. Like I said, you see the High Towers marching to Harrenhal. Like we know what's going to eventually happen, and we see that in episode one, or we're going to be seeing that hopefully in episode one. As far as characters we get in the next season, we're definitely going to be meeting Darren Targaryen, which is the third son. We're also going to see a lot more of Cregan Stark, hopefully in season 3. From what I'm told, Cregan was supposed to be in the last episode. A lot of people were speculating that he was going to be there. They even filmed a scene him marching with the Greybeards, but they ended up ultimately taking that out. So I don't know what we're going to see as far as Cregan. Is it going to be in Winterfell or at the Wall in the north, or is it going to be marching to Dragonstone or whatever the case may be? So that is a question that a lot of people have for next season. Guys, we're going to do a recap episode, or not a recap. Yeah, we're going to do a season 1 and 2 recap episode, answer you guys' questions. We'll do a live and all that good stuff. So make sure you guys are following. But yeah, that's our season 2, episode 8 finale. Wrap up, guys. Thank you so much for watching these breakdowns. I've been really surprised on the amount of views I've been getting for these breakdowns. Usually my hour-long videos don't really do well, but you guys have been liking it, so we've been consistently doing it. We've been getting some good feedback for it. So thank you everyone who did watch, and also the people that were on the panels for this season. But that's pretty much our wrap up for the breakdowns, guys. Like I said, we're going to be doing breakdowns for season 2, or recaps rather, for season 2, which I'm excited for. We'll do some lives here talking House of the Dragon and Game of Thrones, and but also, guys, we will be back talking all Game of Thrones universe stuff once A Night of the Seven Kingdoms drops. We're going to be doing episode breakdowns like we are now. A Night of the Seven Kingdoms will eventually come out sometime in 2025. If you guys want to follow me on TikTok, I'll put out as soon as I hear the news. I will put out a video for it. Also, there's going to be 6 episodes for that season, so we're not going to be
6?
6, yeah, for season 1. Yeah, but isn't that kind of normal for what we're going to be seeing for Night of the Seven Kingdoms, the storyline? I mean,
Just make it one big season at this point. Like 6 episodes is crazy.
is
That's
it really?
crazy work. 8
Yeah.
episodes is crazy work.
The reason why I asked you that is because I heard the stories were short.
Yeah, but 6 episodes, like,
So you rather
if
have
they're
just
not
one continuous show rather than 3 seasons? Because
no, it's not
they're
that
doing.
I don't mind miniseries, but to me, 8 to 10 episodes is a miniseries. 6 episodes is half a series.
Okay.
You
And I'm not
learn something
100% sure. I'm speculating 6 because they came out and people were saying 6. So HBO never didn't confirm it or anything, or Max didn't confirm it, but people are saying 6. So just be prepared for that. From what I heard, the story is not a long story, guys. So don't be prepared for dragons or anything that we see Game of Thrones House of Dragons. It's going to be a completely different dynamic when it comes to the show. All right, but Liz, I appreciate you for joining us again.
Thank you for having me.
And honestly, thank you for becoming a good friend this season. Honestly, you and the rest of the mods and the people in the group chat and stuff, like you guys have literally been from episode 1. I want to say, like episode 1 on, you guys have been modding for me. You guys have been just doing amazing stuff for me.
For me, episode 2, but yeah.
What was it, episode 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you and everyone else, like you guys became good friends of mine. So I do thank you for not just the stuff on TikTok, but also coming on and talking about the show and all that good stuff. So I do thank you. I appreciate you.
Of course. Thank you for creating the community.
Of course. You guys are phenomenal. I love all my people in the community. So Liz, make sure you guys go follow her. I will have her stuff in the description below. She doesn't like to shout out her own.
I don't talk about this stuff. I
No.
talk about my boring, normal life. So
that's fine. Go watch her fun, exciting life, guys. I will leave her stuff in the description below. But like I said,
crazy.
like I said before, X, I love you, brother. I appreciate you. Season 2 was dope. We got to watch a couple episodes together, which was pretty cool, dude.
Cool. Which is funny, we actually watched more episodes together, like actually together this season.
Yeah,
I say we did last season. We just watched them on the computer.
Exactly. That's exactly what we did. So thank you for that. And like I said, this whole season we did breakdowns, we did lives, we did recaps, all that good stuff. So thank you again, brother. And if you could tell the people where they can find you on social media.
Yeah, you can find me here on YouTube, _TV. Going to be on TikTok as well, _TV, and Instagram. Again, thank you all for Tony. Thank you for having me on, and also helping me grow a little bit with all of this, and bring in a very good friend, Liz, who I think now she's really part of the group. So
she's a lot more comfortable now than she was. Season 2, or episode 2.
Yeah,
well,
and definitely
I had to test the waters. Some people are really sensitive, So.
No, yeah.
That's to make sure.
You know what's funny is I'll end it with this. When Liz first came on, she was this sweet, sweet girl who came on and talk about the show, and she was real nice. Chat, she's a lot different now, guys.
She's a lot rainbows to hellfire.
She's a lot. No, but I'm glad you are comfortable around us to be yourself. You know what I'm saying?
I lost my customer service voice.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah, toss it out the door.
That's a beautiful way to put it. But guys, if you guys want to follow me on social media and specifically TikTok, guys, go ahead and search Tones_TV, which I'll have everything in the description below. But we do a lot of lives. We have panels. So if you guys want to come up and join on the panel on TikTok Live, we've dropped videos on there first. So if you guys want to follow me there, Tones_TV on all platforms. We're going to be, like I said, we're going to be doing a lot of stuff within the next couple months of other than House of the Dragon stuff or Game of Thrones universe stuff. We're going to be doing Dune Prophecy. We're going to be doing The Penguin. Those about to die, we still got to watch and do a recap on. But like I said at the beginning of the video, make sure you guys are commenting and let me know which shows you guys want us to do. I love to talk to you guys about it and kind of go over recaps for the show for certain shows. But yeah, make sure you guys follow me, Tones_TV on all platforms. Go ahead and hit the notification bell so you guys are notified once the video is uploaded. But thank y'all for watching. We'll see y'all next season we'll see you guys when A Night in the Seven Kingdoms comes out. All right. Love y'all.